Welcome to this video on sound effects in Godot. My name is Matthew. Let's get started. So let's say that the sound effect that I want to put in is some footsteps. So let's open up the game in the actors folder, player.tscn, and as you'll see I have this player here, and if I run it real quick, as I move around with WASD, there's no sound. What we want to do in this video is add sound to that movement. So to start, we need to add a child node to our player. So I'll go ahead and do that. And in this case, we need this audio stream player. So I'll go ahead and add that, and I'm just going to rename it, and I'll call it footsteps. Once that's created, we just need to then find our MP3 file that we want to use. In this case, I have this footsteps and grass sound. And in the inspector, we have this stream field with this empty value. So I'll go ahead and drag my MP3 over, and notice you'll see this volume dB. This is where we can change the sound. I'm going to go ahead and change it to -15, simply because I know by default the footsteps are pretty loud. So now I need to change the script. So I'm going to full screen so that we can actually see. And what you'll see here is just a short script to get the character to move in the direction of the WASD keys. To start, though, on getting the sound effect to play, I first need to create a variable that controls whether or not the sound is playing. So I'll create my playing sound variable, and I'll set it to false, because by default, our sound effect is not playing. Once I have that, I just need some functions, and I'm going to go ahead and clear this empty space just to make it neater. And I need some functions that are going to play the sound and stop the sound. So to start, I'll create my play sound function that returns nothing, so void. And the first thing I need to do is I need to set that variable that I created to true. So playing sound, is equal to true. Because that marks that our sound is currently playing, and then to actually play the sound, I call my audio stream player .play. In this case, the stream player is called footsteps, so I just say footsteps.play. Now I'll do the same thing to stop the sound. So conveniently, I'll call my function stop sound and return void, and do the same thing. So playing sound is equal to false, because now my sound shouldn't be playing, and I'll call footsteps dot stop. Stop is what stops an audio track from playing. So once we have this, now we need to make it so that when we press the WASD key, our sound effect plays. And to do that, we need to check if the WASD keys are being pressed on the keyboard. And thankfully, we can do this in a relatively simple way, and just call if input.isActionPressed. This function checks to see if something has been pressed. In this case, we're checking move up, which is mapped to the W key. Then I'll say or input.isActionPressed, move down, which checks if the S key is being pressed, or input.isActionPressed, move left to check if the A key is being pressed, or input.isActionPressed, move right. That's the one I need. And that checks if the D key is being pressed. If any of those conditions are being met, we need to play our sound. But first, we don't want to play if the sound's already playing, so we'll check and see if playing sound is false. If that's the case, meaning our sound is not playing currently, we'll call the play sound function that we wrote below. And then what we'll do is we'll say else. So if the WASD keys are not being pressed, whoops, I've just noticed I need to capitalize the S there. So in the else statement, this is if they aren't being pressed, I need to check if my sound is currently playing, because if it is, I need to stop the sound. So I'll call my stop sound function. And once I have that, should be all we really need. So I'll go ahead and save, return to my game viewer, and I will go ahead and try to run it. And now you should be able to hear the character footsteps that we implemented there. Anytime we press WASD, the sound plays, and if we don't, it stops. So to summarize, in this video, we went over how to add sound effects, and not only that, but we learned how to map those sound effects to movement or keyboard actions. So with that being said, that is it for this tutorial. Best of luck developing your games.